This is how these always start, isn't it? Just a little bit woolly as to whether anything's happening or not. I'm going to assume it is, because otherwise, yeah, otherwise I'll never get going. So, oh, I chopped my head off. So, here we go. This is live on EXR, the software for Concept 2 and water rowers and other Bluetooth-enabled devices. And it's row with the devs. So you can hopefully see on the screen, let's see, where am I? Up here, up around this lot. That's all the devs and a few other folks who are rowing today. So basically, EXR, the software, has released a multi-user, so what do they call it, MMO, multiple, I should really have asked them what MMO stood for. But yeah, they have multiple user access now. Still don't have the racing side of it yet, but they do have multiple users. So a whole bunch of people have signed in and are ready to row, and the row is due to start, well, actually in about, well, less than a minute's time. So I don't know when people are going to start rowing. So I think basically they're all going to start moving, and then I'm going to suddenly go, oh, and pick up my handle. Now, if you can see, hang on, where's the guy, let's see, with the black boat right in the middle. Oh, see, someone's gone. He's quick. He's quick off the mark. Yeah, the black boat. I see people are going. All right, is everyone going? All right, let's go. So I don't know whether you're going to do this as a row along with me or not, or whether you're just interested to see what's going on the EXR lake, just to see all the other people and to see what it's like. So I'm really just going to be camping out. Let's take it up to at least 20. I was down at 16 strokes a minute there. Let's not do that. It's a bit too slow. But I've not done anything yet, so I'm going to kind of use the first 10 minutes or so as a warm-up. And then I'll maybe look at changing things up. This row with the devs is on for an hour. But whether I hang around for the full hour or not, it's really going to be down to how I feel. It looks as though Dev Jeff is to my right. I can't quite see. I'll slow down a bit to let him get on the screen. See him rowing in a, looks like a log rather than a boat. Yeah. Okay. Must be one of the in-game settings. In this, you can change the clothes that you wear, or I'm assuming if you get enough experience points, you can then change what your boat looks like as well. Anyway, right, a bit of a ramshackle start. There's a sprint coming up, but we're on a lake course, so there's no rush to get into that sprint quite yet. I'll take it nice and slow, get myself warmed up, and then see maybe one of the later times if I'm feeling a little bit spicy. Might try and do this sprint. Let's see how long it takes me at a nice slow 18 strokes a minute first. So it's 300 meters, 34 seconds for 300 meters seems incredibly fast. I mean, so I think fine. A 140 pace, 1 minute 40 pace would be 300 meters in a minute. So for someone to get 34 seconds, wow. So, right, let's put a bit of structure into this video. So I'm warming up for the first 10 minutes here at around about 18 strokes a minute, and my pace, I'm doing it around about 210 pace. like you can see on screen, just to get, well, warmed up. I kind of sat down in the machine, logged in, didn't do any other kind of warm up, and it's just past 7 o'clock at night here, and I've actually had a long day out playing the drums for the past 6 hours with my band, so my fingers are blistered. I don't think you can see the big blister I've got on my finger, but my back's a little tender. I'm a little tired. Even though I thought drumming for 6 hours would take it out of you, but it does. So I'm just taking it nice and gentle in this warm up. Oh, there's a boat going past. And it must be said, just getting back to what we're doing, EXR looks lovely. In the kind of recent, I don't know, couple of years, there have been a few apps coming along that start to really push the experience for rowers who are kind of, well, I'll say it now, who are kind of looking for that Zwift experience, but rowing and rowing properly. I mean, with Zwift you can hook your machine in via, is it Road Biker? I know there's 2 apps that do it, or Pain Sled. And so you can kind of turn your rowing machine into either a Zwift cyclist or a Zwift runner. But you know what? It's not very satisfactory. I tried that a couple of times, and you're sitting there on your rowing machine rowing away, surrounded by cyclists or runners. And you're like, this isn't quite what I signed up for. So that's where you look at apps on your phone that can give you a similar experience. And there are, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 apps that are trying to bring some kind of experience. And you've got Holofit for VR. That's just a little bit wacky because quite a lot of the time you're rowing in the wrong direction. So I don't really count Holofit. But if you're actually looking for a Zwift type experience, as it stands, EXR are leading the way by leaps and bounds. Now, I will confess that up until in the last video I made reviewing the software, I used to call them EXR instead of EXR. So if you're like, why does he keep saying on that last video? And that's what I found. I should have been calling it EXR, not EXR. As an exercise. But hopefully, even though you can see me wanging up and down, Oh dear, right. Seem to be back up for a second. Thanks, Max. Right, how do I have, I think the battery in my transmitter's died, so you're now looking at a man thinking, do I have any battery packs I can put in my pocket? 1 second. Oh no, I've given away the game. You've seen my head cutting off. It's a good thing this isn't, good thing I'm not a professional. Right, hang on, there's not one. Where's my, dearie me. Oh, you know, what the, right, hang on. That's not one. Right, I'm gonna have to go back into the house and try and find a little battery pack, because I can't find my usual one. Don't know where it is. Okay, all right. Ooh, get a big shot in my backside. So, I'll sit down. This is embarrassing, but my little wireless mic, the battery has died on it. So I have cable. In fact, actually, will that work? Don't know if that will work. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is going to work or if it's going to fall over. I've got battery here. I don't know if I can be plugged into this and row at the same time. Oh, it's the wrong connection. Oh, it's never easy, is it? There we go. Is that right? So how have you been? Have I got... I don't think that's the right one, is it? You nerds. All right. Let's see, I'm going to do this as a separate video at one point. Right, hang on. I'm sure I've got another USB-C somewhere. Yeah, there we go. All right, so theoretically, look at my backside again. Gives us a chance to look at how great everything is. Right, okay, so I'm gonna have to use, let's hope this extension still keeps power going. Right, if it doesn't, that's fine. I've got another workaround. How have you been? Like I say, just have a little look at what's going on and see how pretty everything looks. 1, 2, yep, still got power right now. So the question is, are you now charging? Yes. Right. So I've got a new tail. This isn't ideal in the slightest, is it? Oh, there we go. So all I have to make sure is that the cable follows me as I row. Shall we start again? Shall we start again, girls and boys? Okay, I can see my mic is flashing. Found you. Oh, good. So Mike found us. Sound back. Thank you, Mike. Right, I'm going to start up again. What we've done, we just did a 300-meter sprint, didn't we? So here we go. Off we go again. Nice low rate. But I'll tell you what, I'll kind of deviate from talking about the software for a few minutes to actually say there is value in, well, obviously not in tech mess ups. There's no real value in technology going wrong, but in doing a warm up and then making sure to take a break before you start your main session of like 2 or 3 minutes. And that's because of the ATP, the kind of power bank for your muscles. Ironic, as being as a power bank that caused me to stop just now. But you use up that ATP, and then when you stop after a warm-up, it then recharges. And it means when you start your main session, for the first like 30 seconds or so, you feel amazing. You get this kind of boost of, hey, I'm ready to take on the world. It runs out after 30 seconds or so, but by that time you're flying. In like a 2K, you're already on your way towards your first 500, so then it's just about grit and continuing on. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Got the next 100-meter sprint coming up, and I'll see if I can beat the first guy, or sorry, my second attempt. So I'll get the ghost again, I assume. So here we go. I'm going to push quite considerably harder this time. Oh, there he is. So the white ghost is my previous attempt at this. Okay, paddle. So 20.1 versus 21 and a half. But again, there he goes. I don't know what we're saying. Yes, reverse view better, I agree. Hi John, just back from a lovely water row. Ooh, I have no idea what you're doing here, but it looks interesting while I drink my coffee. Yep, although I hope you're not UK based, because if you are, this is very late in the day to be drinking a cup of coffee. You're not going to get to sleep tonight. I'll wait and see if I get a... I live in the States, you idiot. That's why I'm drinking coffee. But to pick up on what Mike put in the comments, the great thing here is that we're actually rowing the proper way round. Having your avatar in the middle of the water, moving backwards, is all you need, because I can see who's in front of me. I can see my wee fella, of course. But if anyone starts to sneak up on me in a race, talk about that soon, I'll see them coming. Whereas if the view, can't remember if I set this. In fact, I'll take a look at the settings. I'll do this. I'll take a look at settings now. Might as well, as being this is a bit of a hodgepodge of a video. Oh, who else typed something? Maxim, looking great, John. We're working up a sweat here as well. How good. Right, so can I adjust? So options. Right, okay, let's go gameplay. UI scale. So maybe this is camera position default. Aha, behind POV. So if I do behind. Does this work? Ah! So there we go. So that's slightly, well, different, isn't it? So let's try rowing this way for a while. Hang on, I'm gonna have a drink. Sorry, you just had to hear that. I usually mute them when I'm making my proper row-alongs. So, yeah. So this is, if you're a rowing purist, this may be more what you want to see, so that it feels as though that's actually you rowing, because, well, you're staring at your back, as you would be. And this way, if you could see people coming up, trying to overtake you, you can make sure and give it some. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to strap myself in first for a second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on going until the next sprint, because I want to find out if there's some kind of a alert to tell me that I'm about to hit that 300-meter sprint when it comes up. I've got a little mini map at the bottom of the screen, kind of here, which you can't quite see because, what's that? Is that an otter? Not a duck. Oh no, I almost hit the duck with my, watch out duck. Ooh. Oh no, crikey, danger ducks. Okay, so river sprint I know is coming up, and it's giving me a countdown. Ah, there we go. A little bit more notice would have been nice, but okay. But I'm just gonna try and see what happens if I'm kind of round about the same pace as last time. Yeah, so the pace ghost, if you want to call it that, of my previous attempt stays on screen for me to continue to race against. I've got a small window in the top left-ish that's telling me how far I've got to go, but it must be said, in this orientation, it'd be nicer if that was bigger. I was slower, yeah, still massively off world record. So, let's change the orientation again. Gameplay, so default, so is POV. Oh, okay, there we go. So, this may be a bit more what, oh, close my knee. Oh, all right. This may be a bit more what. So what's happening? All right. So, I'm guessing, what way am I moving? Hard to tell right now. So I'm still moving. So this is as though, there we go. So the clue's in the name, John. POV. This is literally meant to be as though I was rowing in a boat. So that's the head, bow. Don't know terminology, sorry. That's the pointy bit at the front of my boat. So I am facing this way on the boat, and that's it in front of me. So this is the proper, purest version. Now this is going to come up with the same thing of, I don't know what's behind me, so I don't know if I've got a sprint coming up. If I was racing, obviously I don't know if I'm about to overtake someone. But again, that's where this, where are we? There? Yeah, the mini map comes in, so you can see, or possibly, if I do this, can you see? Ooh, let's do that. All the dots on the mini map. So that says where I am and where other people are. So I know that coming up in the distance is another dot. So I'm going to catch somebody up. But I also know, well, I can see them anyway. There's a couple of people right in front of me or behind me, depending on your point of description here. So that's one way, excuse me, when it comes to racing. And then there's a big S coming up to show the start. So I'm guessing I'm about to finish another lap. Oh no, or is it the sprint? It's the sprint, highway sprint. Okay, so this should be the next sprint. Then we'll see if my ghost turns up again. And at what point, or do we not get a ghost because he's in front of me and we're just looking, yeah, and because we're on POV, So I like doing this, sprinting and then taking options, gameplay. So let's go back to default. UI scale, let's do large. Close. There we go. All right, what changed? Answers in the postcard. What's different to the last time round? Maybe it's because is my pace, strokes per minute, any bigger than it was before? I don't think it is it? Oh, hang on. I did get a reply. Canada, Vancouver, hey! Okay, you're allowed to have a cup of tea then, or a cup of coffee. Just make sure it's a Tim Hortons. Tell you one thing, Tim Hortons in Canada, oh, yum, 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 lovely. Tim Hortons in the UK, or at least my local Tim Hortons, because we have one near me, awful. The coffee is like sludge. In fact, sludge would be embarrassed by me describing it that way. Ugh, awful. And the Timbits and things, they taste like they've been soaked in literally like disinfectant, like washing up liquid. Awful tasting stuff. But go to Canada, have a Timbit, yum yum yum, or coffee, yum yum yum. Right, hang on, I know I keep on stopping and starting, but I keep on seeing the audio redlining, so I'm going to make it a wee bit quieter. 1, 2, maybe that's better. I was a little bit worried. I don't want the sound to go into the red all the time. I don't want to distort on you. Right, I've still not found quite what's large about the interface yet. I'm waiting until the next sprint, you see, and I want to see if the info that comes up on the sprint is any bigger. Because so far, don't see the difference. I tell you what, apart from the fact that I wasted a good few minutes trying to fix the sound problem, this is a lovely way to just pootle along. That's 28 minutes gone already. I'm just getting a nice low intensity fitness boosting chance to work on my technique. Low intensity row, and these are so important, and it's kind of, I don't know how much would you put towards the software for that. There's definitely something about wanting to slow down so you can experience what you're looking at, but I mean, I've done 4 laps so far, so I'm getting quite used to what I see. So next sprint should be, is it the 300 next? Yeah, this is the one that I'm still like, someone did it in 34 seconds. Or someone's done it. Well, I've not done it in 20.14, I'll tell you that much. So here we go. River Sprint 0. Oh no, there we go. So I came up just then with a PR of 20 seconds, and that wasn't right. The info data top left in the black box, that's not any bigger. So what I'll do, well, there's my ghost man though. What I'll do is I'll try and remember how big the text is, and I'll go down to small after we've done this sprint. This would be quite handy still for my row-along workouts. I just pootle around, you pootle with me, sprint when I sprint. But then it's more fun for you to actually have the software, to be honest, so let's not rob the poor EXR people from a new member. Right. Ooh. This is getting quite sore. Don't know how much I can go on for. Right, options. Oh, hang on. So, how big is my text? But 2 fingers. Options. Gameplay. UI scale. Let's go small. Apply. Close. Okay, yeah. It's smaller this time. It's about finger height instead of 2 fingers. So, oh yeah, and the text up at the top, all the numbers at the top, they're a lot smaller. So, when I'm using, you'll be able to see, did I just get another? Yeah, I'll check, someone just said that would be a good idea. I'll check and see what the EXR guys would say about that. I don't really want to give like an option for people to make it feel as though they were doing exactly the same thing and I'm just giving it away by recording it and putting it online. I don't really want to be kind of stealing their IP that I do it and then nobody else gets a piece. Because of course you can't really do it as a roll along properly where we both do it together unless we match paces, and that's kind of quite hard to do. So large. Let's go back to large. Oh, so hang on. What was advanced options? Advanced options, show UI, okay, show mini-maps, you can turn that off. Performance is about actually the performance of my iPad. FTMS is the functional training something. That's to do with the other Bluetooth devices. Okay. Change camera. Oh, so you can, all right, so I didn't have to go into all of that. Oh, here we go, that's pretty handy. So instead of, every day's a learning day. So I didn't have to go into the entire menu to change my camera angle. I could just have dropped down the handy change camera angle thing. Hey. So let's stick with, I quite like the one that I'm on anyway. It's got the bigger UI scale. Yeah, just make sure, just checking for messages. Hope you're enjoying spending this time with me. It's a little bit meandery, but hey. Right, what was I talking about? I can't for the life of me remember. Can you remember? No, okay. I think I've covered a few things and not quite finished them off, but as is my way. But yeah, I think, let's go back to the whole idea of software trying to crack the market for rowing. It's quite interesting timing doing this now because of course Peloton have just released their rower and their kind of connected classes idea and things. And I suppose there's two, I mean broadly, let's say broadly, 2 halves of the indoor rowing market. There's folks who train on a rowing machine just because they know that it's a good workout, they'll get fitter and healthier doing it. And so they do want like a Les Mills instructor type to be going, right, come on then, we can go faster. In 3, 2, 1, push it, come on! Right? Which would drive me absolutely batty, to be honest. I can't do things like spin classes. I'm done at 2:15, crikey. Let's speed up a bit. Yeah, I can't do spin classes and things because I just can't take instructors, like shouting instructors, seriously at all. But I do recognize that there is a huge market out there for people who just use the rowing machine to get fitter. And it's not actually about wanting to be a better rower. It's just that they know they get a really good workout from rowing. And I think that's who Peloton ultimately is aiming at. It's like the gym user. Not particularly the rower. And yeah, there's an overlap. If you look at Zwift, there's definitely an overlap. I'm going to take it up a bit here. Definitely an overlap of people who race properly on Zwift, but then there's a whole load of people who have it just because indoor cycling is a bit more interesting with Zwift and its racing options versus having a connected Peloton bike and having some shouty person tell you to go faster. I'm much more inclined to go faster in a race when I see some 220. The irony of saying go faster as I'm down at 224 pace. Yeah, I'm more inclined to push myself in a race than I am in training. And so that's where, for cycling, Zwift is amazing for me. And where I think EXR is poised to do the same for indoor rowers. Because it gives you, or as it grows and you get training plans and things, it gives you that kind of training option, admittedly without a shouty instructor. But it also gives you the option, hey, here's Mike. Just passed him. Wonder if you'll catch up. Has he stopped? You see when I passed him, he was on the right hand side. I'll go slowly in case he's actually waiting for me to catch up for me. Who knows? Yeah. So you can either do training plans on here, or you can just load up what I've done today, which is just a just row. Or hopefully, and this is the big thing, in the future, when racing comes in here, and there's a huge technical, or at least maths issue when it comes to what EXR have set up as a proposition when it comes to racing. In that, I'm trying to think the best way to put it. There's loads of different rowing machines you can use on EXR right now. So you can use a water rower that has the Bluetooth module. You can use Concept 2. You can use an RP3, and let me get this right, any rowing machine that has the FTMS protocol, which is the fitness thing I was on about, fitness technology, something. Any of those rowing machines could use EXR. But the pace, the power that you get out of, say, a water rower isn't the same stroke for stroke when it comes to drag factor and things, if you were to compare a water rower and a Concept 2. So the amount of power you have to put in at low rate on a water rower to hold, say, 2 minutes per 500 meters at, let's say, 20 strokes a minute. You have to put more power in to get to that pace compared, follow me here, to the amount of power if you were doing like 130 pace. Oh, hang on, let me get it. It's not, no, should I start again? The power line, difference between 2 minutes pace and 20 strokes a minute and 130 pace at 30 strokes a minute. It's not a straight line. You need to, because of the way, what is the physics of water, you have to work harder at low rate than you do when you're rowing low rate on a Concept 2. So the kind of algorithm curve between the two, in order to match the data to be able to have a water rower row a concept or race a Concept 2 is, well, it's the kind of holy grail if you can work out what it is. But I think unless a water rower accounts for the amount of water it has in the drum, the same way Concept 2s have drag factor, I don't know if there is a way. And so even like an RP3 and a Concept 2 could probably work out an algorithm to make them kind of parity be able to race each other and feel confident that if I'm rowing at 130 per 500 meters and the RP3 guy or girl is at the same pace, we're both putting in the same amount of effort. But the same can't really be said for the water rower and many of the FTMS machines. And that is where the racing conundrum of EXR comes in. The solution is that you only have like for like races. Concept 2 only races Concept 2. Water rowers only row against other water rowers when they race them. And that's the solution, but it's not really the ideal solution. The ideal is to have everybody take part, much like Zwift, where you can have any make, model of turbo trainer, or certainly the smart trainers, and everyone accepts that a Neo versus a Hammer versus a Kicker or whatever else, it's all fair. But that's because of the way these can actually be controlled. They can work out exactly how many watts are going in. And it's just not that easy for the EXR dudes and dudettes in the programming team to do the same for rowing. But needless to say, how many for time? 10 minutes to go. Needless to say, if they can crack the racing thing and kind of take the kind of development one step closer to the idea of Zwift when it comes to the amount of, I don't know, the amount of routes there are. I mean, we've got a bunch of maps on EXR, but it still feels like it's, because it's still in that development phase, it's not quite burst out of that bubble into giving you loads of options, because there's no need to right now. Wonder if, oh yeah, well, I've done 9,200 meters right now. Tell you what I'm going to do. I know there's 10 minutes left, but I think I might stop when I hit 10k, because that blister just burst one of my finger, and it's a little bit tender. So if I stop when I hit 10k, so to my, as I'm looking at the screen, to the left, there's somebody in a boat, kind of right there, and it looks like another wireframe. I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's just a virtual rower on the water. I don't know how many other people are left. My little mini map at the bottom shows only me. Is everybody else gone? Am I only with virtual boats now? It was only a 40-minute session and I've just been going on. Well, that's fine. 500 meters to go and I'll stop like the rest of them. But hopefully, in and amongst my various ramblings, the microphone issue that we had, and a few stops and starts when I took you through some of the user interface with someone else. Hopefully you've had a good look at this and just how good looking it is. You're going to figure that the reason that rower next to me is wireframe is because he's a virtual rower. Nobody else. Although, is that a dev? Am I about to come up upon? Who's that? I think I am. So someone's there. Dev. Maxim. Hey Max. Overtake you. And who's next? So I want to at least get up to that 10k. So Dev, Jeff, just press the devs are still. Oh, there we go. Hi Dev, Jeff. You waiting for me? Right, do you want to race? I'm going to race you through the sprint. Last bit. I think he's racing too. That felt longer than it should have been, and I'm stopping early. You win, Jeff. I have no excuses for why I stopped there. I just didn't want to carry on. Oh, right, I'll get, there we go. Thanks for the race, Jeff. So, while I'm stopped, I say goodbye. Do take a look at just how good looking it is on the river here. This is exactly what you want from an app, from a rowing app, in terms of how it looks. I don't think the graphics need to be any more realistic or anything. I think it's perfect. Your avatar is perfect. Apparently, if you can change the clothes and stuff, then great, you can do all that customization. You can change your view of the avatar anyway, which is even better. The only gripe, and I know people will have this, is Max, I'm going off into the distance. Bye, Max. Oh, who's that saying thanks? Good work, thanks, from Annika. Hi, Annika. Yeah, is when I'm rowing, the stroke of my avatar isn't in time. And I know there's going to be a Bluetooth connectivity issue going on, a delay between what I'm doing and what it's doing. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to account for that they can work out that the Bluetooth lag is X seconds, and so they delay the stroke of your avatar by that many seconds. So even if it means that you lose your very first stroke of your session, everything else is going to be in time, or at least if I go from 20 strokes a minute up to 30, the first stroke that I take will be wrong because it'll still be reading the 20, but the next one, it will then be back up to that 30 strokes a minute again. And as long as they can work out what the delay is, the Bluetooth delay is, I'm sure, I mean, listen, I make TV programs, I'm not a coder, but I'm sure they can work out some way to know what the delay is so that then your avatar can be rowing in time with you. But really that's, in terms of if you're going to pick holes in anything, that's the only thing I'd pick holes in. The scenery is great, what you see around you is great. The fact that right now you can row multiplayer in terms of other people can be on the, like real people can be on the water with you is fantastic. The only thing really lacking is the racing thing, and speaking to the dev team, they're on it, they're trying to work out what to do, but it's that big decision about do they put lots of work into trying to solve the parity issue, which again could, I'm not saying it would because I don't know, but there's always a chance that the manufacturers aren't going to be too happy with this idea of parity. You never know. So maybe it's simpler at this stage anyway for them to just say, you know what, let's just do concept 2 versus concept 2. Blah, blah, blah. In the background we have a solution, but we're not going to put that in until it's properly called for, and until, because if this got the amount of users that Swift has, even the manufacturers, if they were complaining about it, would go, you know what, actually, if we've got 10,000 people rowing every single day, it doesn't matter, we're still getting a massive market share. So that's my view. So there we go, that was me just tooling around EXR for an hour. I hope you just kind of stepped in and saw little bits of this, Can see you parked behind bridge. Yes. Nice row. Rode with me for a bit, but not always. Yeah. All right. Okay. It says not always synced. Bluetooth sync maybe. Yeah, I think that could well be what it is. Yeah. So there you go. So that was just like a view. You get a free trial with it. So if you're interested in this and you have a Concept 2 with a PM5, because you need to connect. I think actually, can you do cable? I'm pretty sure you can do cable now to a computer. Pretty sure I tried to said it was only Bluetooth before, and then they got in touch and said, no, as long as you're using a computer or maybe Android, you can do via USB, excuse me. But yeah, so you can get a free trial, so it's worthwhile downloading and having a go with it anyway. And it's not even for like a subscription point of view, it's not that expensive. It's the kind of thing that you respond to in terms of seeing this on screen. It's worth the money. It's cheaper than a Zwift subscription or whatever. No, and I know everything's going down the subscription based right now, but my take on that is that, again, it comes down to parity. They need to make sure that everybody's running the latest version of the software. And the only way you can do that is through a subscription model where, because you're paying, it updates and you get the latest version all the time. Because if I was running, what am I running? 1.1.2.2, I think my software version is. And then if someone else was just running 1.1.2.0, there's a chance it wouldn't work well together. So they need to make sure that everyone's at the same point. So that's why the subscription model thing works. It's not about them trying to get loads of money out of people. It's about making sure people are all right. Anyway, so I'm done because I'm just rambling now. And it is 8 o'clock and I'm gonna go and have my dinner because I'm really tired after an afternoon of drumming and then an hour-ish of low intensity, slow rowing, but still that was, what did it say, 620 odd calories. So I'm gonna go in and make myself a lovely chorizo and pepper pasta and possibly watch the last episode of Sandman with my wife. So yeah, that's my plans. Let me know what your plans are. Now I am, let's see, oh hang on, Maxim, here we go. I can clear this up. Only cable to PM5, so the 4 and 3 is possible at the moment. That's fine, but you can cable to the PM5. Why you would versus Bluetooth might be a sync thing. Maybe you get better sync with the rower. What I'll do, so I'll stop havering because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a proper standalone, just going to like, hey, look, this is me rowing on EXR video. So you don't have to put up with the whole 50 minutes. So I'm going to, within a couple of days, I'll delete this live one because there's no point you kind of going through it all. And I'll talk about things like how you can connect to the monitor. I'll talk about the, who's that? Art Thomas, hello. I'll talk about the delay and whatever, and I'll try and get answers from Max just to say, this is why we have this. I'll try and get like a whole kind of bunch of, like a press release. I'm just going to be his mouthpiece. Hello. So there we go. I'm done. So I'm going to say goodbye. And then we have to go through that awkward part where I then have to go to the computer and start pressing stop and things. And you're like, he's not going anywhere. So I'm going to say goodbye and I'll see you in a future video. Please check out some of my other videos up here. Look after yourselves. Have a nice dinner. Enjoy your coffee if that's what you're having. If you were rowing at the same time, do let me know. Get in touch. Let me know how you enjoyed it. And I will see you in another video. Okay, so here we go with that awkward bit. So I'm saying goodbye. I'm still saying